Sometimes the past is so sharp that it cuts like blades under your skin. Chills like breath in winter when dark mixed clouds come out but you cannot speak a single word. When I was little my father told me that pubic hair was dirty. I should be a good girl and shave to be worthy. It was behind closed doors, although the door could never be locked, because that meant disobedience, the ingredient to be punished for your sin with blows and broken skin. Until the moment you would confess and come to him, humble and groveling on your knees, sended to please, respect, apologizing for the fact that you were just righteous being yourself. So he watched me lather my body, capturing my shape in the rain to nothing more than dripping through the drain. Shouldn't the father's eyes be looking at a child to avoid exposure? Now I find it so hard to be loved. The lock that could never be locked closed my heart, my throat, my belly, as if his voice has dug itself into the very follicles of my entity, erasing my identity. The key outside of reach, because as a woman you can never reach the top. It took me until I was 35 to figure out what I actually look like. Then men were offended that I had not set the table right. But who listened when I said I had no appetite? To be a woman means to be bound, cut into a marionette slut to count, an object seen through the lens of males that we must follow blindly along their tails. No, we cannot sidetrack their made-up rails. We must mow ourselves in perfectly straight lines, because a beautiful flowering land cannot be conquered, but a perfectly inline model can. So, from birth on, we are already sentenced to be the symbol of touch me instead of being safe and free. As the umbilical cord is cut and we are declared girls, the chain is wrapped around our necks and visibly branded onto our foreheads. Existence means exile, while the blood of birth has not yet dried into the first blossoms of becoming alive. You see, the burden is that we can never seem to free ourselves from these chains unless the man gives us grace. My man gave me a promise instead. He said that if I would dare to leave him, he would destroy me completely. Lady Justice made me go back to the crime scene, still covered in the smell of his gasoline. I had to ask the man's permission to escape. You think then he could finally non-violently communicate? I guess male disobedience is allowed. That must be why she wears a blindfold, just like all the people who looked away. Where was my protection anyway? I don't see a god, but a silent thief in disguise, a poison prescribed by our societal lies that buries the fairies, where our gods slowly rots away in our act of complete neglect of ourselves. We see smooth bodies with radiant faces on screens and in magazines as if this is natural beauty, while we forget that it has been imposed and this is actually our duty. Razors in beautiful colors because it suits our way of expression. But doesn't it occur to us that in our history shaving heads was a way of oppression? I guess it's easier to stay pussies, just the way society likes it. Smooth, small, tight-lipped and vulnerable. The hills chopped by the razors of control to avoid growing the messy, beautiful hair that we actually are. Hair is not dirty, it's terrifying. Just shave and behave. Just be a good girl.